Hey guys, welcome to the Baby Sleep Magic podcast. My name is Chantal, and this week's podcast is actually a recording that I did in regards to resetting and linking sleep cycles. This is one of the number one save topics inside the Baby Sleep Magic app, so I thought I'd do a video on it, and this is the audio version to that. So I hope you find it helpful, and please feel free to share it with any mum or friends that you have. Hey guys, today's video I'm going to talk a little bit about resettling and linking sleep cycles. Now this is one of the number one save topics inside the app, so I thought I'd go into a little bit more detail and do a video on it. Now this will only be relevant though for babies who are falling asleep independently to begin with. And if you've got a baby between the age of 3 and 6 months, the key to try and extend naps at this age is to be quite prompt and to get into the room quite quickly. Because at this age, they really haven't had a lot of practice, and sleeping comes down to practice. Practice and consistency is absolute key to success. And the more they practice, the better they're going to get. So, if your little one is in between that age, the key to success is to get in there probably around the 35, 45 minute mark. And if you've got a baby that you can time on your watch, that is literally by the minute. So every time they go for a nap, they wake up at that 44-minute mark. Then get in that room around about the 40-minute mark, 42 minutes if you know how exact it's going to be, and just wait. And as soon as they start to stir and move and maybe even open their eyes, get in there and try and do some hands-on settling, preferably without them seeing you, because this is the absolute key to success. Depending on what strategies you've already used to get them to sleep or what technique you're using, ideally you want to try and replicate that so there's not too much difference there. So, and the key to success, especially for babies over the age of 3 months, is to make sure they can't see you, because if a baby opens their eyes after being asleep for 35, 40 minutes and sees you, chances of them going back to sleep is really, really low. So out of sight, and get down and get them back off to sleep if you can. And another big tip that I've got is don't spend a lot of time in there resettling, because it's hard work. All the clients that I work with, and even the information in the app, it suggests anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes maximum, because what you don't want to do is feel like you're in this dark room patting off a crying baby back to sleep all day. You don't want that. It's frustrating for you and it's frustrating for your baby. So give it an opportunity, 10, 15 minutes, absolutely max. And if you get the success after that time, amazing, leave the room and hopefully you get another 30, 45 minutes out of them, if not a little bit longer. If after 5 or 10 minutes, if you feel like this is just not working, those cries have really escalated, you're not comfortable, you're not happy, they're not happy, forget it. Get them up, start your wake window, and then try again next nap. Like I said, you don't want to be spending all your time in there trying to resettle a baby that may not even go back to sleep, but you just want to give them the opportunity to begin with, because you just never know. If you give it a go and they don't see you and everything else is lined up, dark room, white noise, they've got the comforter, their tummy, most importantly, is full, so they're not waking from hunger, then if you give them the chance and give them a bit of comfort, you just never know what you might get. But bearing in mind, for babies between the age of, under 3 months, 3 months, and certainly up until the age of 7, 8 months, catnapping is normal, very normal. That means you can still try to extend sleep cycles, absolutely, but just don't get yourself down if it doesn't always happen every single day. Because again, practice makes perfect. The more consistent you are with the approach that you're doing, the more practice they get at falling asleep independently, the better they will get at sleeping. And then step 2 is linking sleep cycles. Step 1 is getting them to fall asleep to begin with. Once you've done that and they've gotten good at that, step 2 is day naps. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't happen straight away. It will happen if you're consistent. Now for older bubbers who are, probably over the age of 6 to 7 months, you can try different strategies. So generally speaking, what I would suggest at this point is to stall. And stalling means don't go in at all. If you've got a monitor, watch the monitor. If you don't, listen to the cries and give them the opportunity. Because again, if you go in when they're around 7, 8 months of age and they physically see you, and a lot of bubbers at 7+ months, they can actually stand up on the cot. And what they might be doing, if you try to crawl in there and get down and try and pat the mattress or pat them, they're just going to look up the cot and look over at you and your moment's gone. So the best thing you can do, like I said, in this situation is stall, and stalling means don't go in there. And again, same principle applies with time frame. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 10 minutes, but preferably the longer you can leave them, the better, if of course they're not crying and distressed. If they're having a bit of a whinge and grizzle and a moan and cry and up and down, totally okay. But you know, you got to trust your gut. If you think something's wrong, they've done a poo or they've got their foot caught or something's different or not right, you've got to go in and see what's going on. And if that means getting them up and cutting that nap short or it didn't happen, that's what it is. But more often than not, if you can ensure that, you know, everything else is in place and they're having a bit of a whinge and grizzle because they wake up prematurely, the best thing you can do is not go in. And like I said, give them the opportunity to go back to sleep. So, you know, the thing is they might babble around in there for 10, 15, even 20 minutes before they realize that, you know, they look around, the room's dark, they haven't seen mum or dad, they're not hungry, they get their little lovey and they rumble up and they go back to sleep, and they might then sleep for another half an hour or if not longer. But if they're not given the opportunity to do that, they will never do it. So that's in particular for the older babies, and then obviously toddlers is in the same boat. So look, I hope that helps. I hope it gives you a little bit of reassurance that what you're experiencing with cat naps and short naps is completely normal, totally expected, but all fixable. It's all about how you manage it and giving them the opportunity to do that, because they might surprise you, and babies learn and respond really well to change. And once they've learnt that first step of falling asleep independently, you've just got to give them the chance to link those sleep cycles, and they will do it as long as it's consistent and their expectations around sleep don't change. So again, I hope that helps, and feel free to write any questions that you've got in the community, whether it's in relation to linking sleep cycles, cat naps, or anything else regarding your baby.